he told me interview and exam is different. Usually in exam, you cannot take papers, notes, and that kind of stuff. You know, don't do it. Okay, don't take interview notes and paper to your exam, because usually it's cheating and then you cheat up. But in an interview, you can bring some stuff. Okay. He also said, you know, when I asked you about your internship, so anybody who's doing an intern, right? When I asked you about the internship, you should have the answer. What did you learn? Like that. And I kind of had to think about it, and you know, he said, you really must have exactly what you did your internship like that at the top of your head. If you can't remember, write it down and bring out the piece of paper and say what you learned. And when you learn in an interview, in an internship, you learn like you in PwC. You learn a few things. You learn hard stuff, right? How to do stuff, you know, technical things, how to audit, let's say. And you learn soft stuff, how to get up in the morning, you know, and how to go to one place and stay there all day. And don't go out and, you know, lepak around, but actually work all day. And maybe work in a team. Listen to instructions, follow them, that kind of stuff. These are the soft things you learn in internship. He said, you must tell them everything. Later, he said, I asked you, you have any question? And then you said, no, I got no question. And he said, that's a very bad thing. Always have questions in every interview, right? And I said, but, you know, I get confused, so I can't think of the question. And he said, don't worry, you write down the question beforehand. And then you bring out the piece of paper and say, yes, I have a question. And you put down here, and then you ask the questions. So it's not like an exam. You can bring in the notes. And in fact, it looks better that you bring the notes. It looks like you prepared for the interview, you see? So, you know, has anybody had an interview yet with an employer? Anyone? Not yet, huh? But, you know, bear that in mind. When you have an interview with an employer, always ask questions. And if you can't think of any questions, just one question is a good one. Say, listen, sir, because usually it's a sir or madam. Usually it's a madam. Mostly they're women. And say, usually they're managers who are interviewing you. You know, quite senior already. You say, what keeps you awake at night? What keeps you awake at night? That's a good one. Because, I mean, in any job in the world, something keeps everybody awake at night. So, and then that forces the interviewer hey, stand back and think a bit. And then you relax up. Yeah. So remember that. Ask questions. What keeps you awake at night? Don't ask me later, because I don't want to hear that one. And another thing, now, that was then. That was not 25, thank you. For 25 years, actually that was 30 more years ago for me. And in those days, everybody, employers, they wanted people they just want to see the grades. And can you talk in interview? That's about it. You know, cannot talk the one but grades and can talk, okay. Lawa sikit, okay juga. But actually, now they want rounded personalities, fully rounded. So actually, if you come into an interview, and remember, there's thousands of you going for interview, no? And the interviewer, you know, during the day, you can interview 10 or 12, 15 people. Can you imagine? I meet 10, 15 people, I can't remember you. You know, the names or everything are blurred already. And so you've got to have something extra. And extra is maybe like caring about other people, caring about the environment, doing something extracurricular, okay, to do something. So some volunteering work, something like that. That's very useful, makes you stand out. You look different, and then later they remember, that's the one that worked on the environment. That's the one that helped the aged the children whatever it is. You know, so it's a different personality. Then they know something about your personality and also your values. Nowadays people want to know about the values. So the rounded and well balanced, not just about your you know, your studies and that. Studies are baseline. You must have that. So don't flunk the exam. But once you pass the exam, then you must have something else. It can be done.